Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be another post by Keto with Kirkland. Today I want to talk about one of the biggest questions that I get asked all the time is when I'm on keto diet, can I use the fake sugar substitutes and put those in my food? Is that okay? Is it bad for me? I hear aspartame is going to make me have memory loss. I hear those fake sugars are bad for you. Okay, fake sugars are okay sometimes. I particularly don't use aspartame. There have been a lot of studies that say aspartame is linked to really bad things for your brain, like memory loss, and I am 100% in agreement with that. For instance, one summer, I was drinking Diet Mountain Dews the entire summer. 2 months, I was on keto diet. After those 2 months of drinking Diet Mountain Dews every day, I kid you not, I could not remember anything. So I am a big person that says aspartame is a no-no. I don't do aspartame. Don't like it. It has a nasty, yucky aftertaste to begin with. And there's another alternative now. That's one of my favorites, which I've talked about before, erythritol, which is in my famous go-to sugar substitute by Lakanto. It's called monk fruit. So what this is actually a blend of the monk fruit and erythritol. You can see on the ingredients. It's a blend. It's my favorite because it also has a 1-for-1, like cup to cup conversion ratio. So when you're baking with it, you just measure it out like plain sugar. So let's talk about blood sugar, glycemic index, and fake sweeteners today. So basically what the glycemic index is, your GI of a food is a numerical measurement of the impact that each carbohydrate in a food can potentially have on your blood glucose levels. So when you take in sugar, if it has a high GI, a glycemic index, I'll be using that interchangeably actually. GI, when I say GI, I'm going to mean glycemic index. There's a scale from 0 to 100, whereas pure sugar is rated 100. So when you take that food in, it's saying, okay, for instance, erythritol on that scale has a scale rating of 0. When you take it in, your body's insulin is not triggered from taking in this specific sugar substitute. So I've got some products here that I want to go over with you and show you how it all works. Already went over this one, Lakanto. It uses erythritol. Erythritol is a good one. It has a glycemic index of 0. Now let's talk about some more. This is one of my favorites things to drink. We live in the South. Sweet tea is a really big thing here. Milo's makes a sweet tea that contains sucralose. Sucralose on the glycemic index. Let me pull this up because there's like 100 different kinds. Okay, sucralose has a glycemic index of 0. It's okay to take in. It will not affect your insulin response. It will not trigger your blood sugar levels to go up, thus, therefore, creating more insulin, which is basically what will kick you out of ketosis. Let's talk about another one. This is Minute Maid Zero Sugar. I bought this the other day without realizing that it has aspartame in it. That's why it's open still, and it's actually expired. It expired a month ago. It's just been sitting in my fridge because I didn't drink it. It has aspartame in it. For those of you that want to drink aspartame, go right on ahead. It has a 0 glycemic index. I do not suggest it though, because there are so many studies that say that aspartame is bad for you. And I haven't looked into all the other studies on other fake sugars, but maybe in the past 5 years, everybody has known that aspartame was the big sugar substitute that went around forever that was supposed to be terrible for you. And I think it is, so I don't drink that. But if you want to stay in ketosis and drink aspartame, you can. It's okay for you. Let's talk about this one. This is Diet Cranberry by Ocean Spray. This one contains also, you can see on the side, sucralose. This one is okay. Sucralose has a glycemic index of 0. Let's see. let's go to another one. This one right here that a lot of people like to use. Your little Sweet and Low packets, your little Splenda packets. These things. Go back onto your list of ingredients and see what's in these. That very first ingredient right here. By the way, when you look on ingredient list, they are required by the FDA or whoever it is to list in the order of how much. So the largest amount is the first ingredient and thus forward. So that's how it goes. The biggest ingredient in this one is dextrose with maltodextrin. No. Do not put this in your body if you're on keto diet. Maltodextrin actually has a glycemic index of 110. It has a higher glycemic index than actual sugar. So a lot of people, when they're going on this diet, they're like, oh, I can go and get my my Sweet and Low packets and my Splenda packets and put in my unsweet tea when I'm at the restaurant. And, you know, stir it in there and you think that you're doing good. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have any calories in it, but if you're on a keto diet, you can't put those in your body. They have maltodextrin in them. So it's basically worse than sugar. Your body will have an insulin-triggered response to it, and it'll kick you out of ketosis if you're in ketosis. Or if you're trying to get into ketosis, you won't. So stay away from maltodextrin. I also have in front of me a list of some popular ones, excuse me, that I want to go over that you'll find in a lot of common packages laying around the house. Stevia, that one is okay. It has a 0 glycemic index. Another popular one is xylitol. It has a glycemic index of 12. It's okay. You want to try and stay below 55 to 60, in my opinion. Anything over that, it's going to trigger your insulin. Let's see. Coconut palm sugar has a glycemic index of 35. Maltitol, that's another very popular one. It's got a glycemic index of 35. Fructose has glycemic index of 25. That's a tricky one though. That's another one of those that there's been scientific studies that say that fructose and agave is really bad for you. So do your own personal research on that to decide whether or not that's something that you want to put in your body. It is okay on keto diet, but at the same time, you need to start worrying not only about the things that your numbers that you're taking in, but sometimes you should be worried about the stuff that your body is actually having to go through and experience on this diet. Like, for instance, a lot of people say that the keto diet's bad for you. It can be if you're only looking at your macronutrients and not your micronutrients as well. Also, your gut health is another thing that gets ignored on keto diet, and that's another video I want to talk about. There's these, what are they called? Microorganisms or something in your gut that control your gut health. And that'll be a whole nother video. One thing that I do to combat that is bone broth. There's just these little things that get ignored when you don't take in carbohydrates that you need to, take into consideration. And that's why I related that to this on these fake sugars. You kind of got to decide for yourself whether that's something that you want to put in your body or not, because this stuff is chemical, man-made stuff. Some of it is. And it can be bad for you, like aspartame. It's terrible. Don't drink aspartame. It's so bad. Back to the list, talking about the glycemic index. One of the top... Okay, so the top one on this list is maltodextrin. I don't know if you guys can see that. It has a glycemic index of 110, whereas glucose, which is just real sugar, is 100. So that's why I was saying don't put maltodextrin in your body if you're on keto diet. It will just kick you out of it. Maltose, dextrose, just plain caramel has a glycemic index of 60. So it's less than real sugar, but it's still, I'm going to put a link. I'll put a link below this video for you guys to go look at this guide. That way you can see and decide for yourself which ones you do want to use. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video is be careful with these diet products that you come across in the store. Just because it says For instance, 0 sugar does not mean that it's actually 0 sugar. When they say 0 sugar, they're getting away with that because it doesn't have actual real glucose in it. So yeah, it's 0 sugar, but it's 110% maltodextrin, which is worse than you for sugar. But it's a cheap version of these companies to get away with selling you diet products. Whereas, for instance, if you go in Walmart and you buy this one, this little bitty bag of erythritol monk fruit, this erythritol blend, this baby bag, it's probably got maybe a cup and 3/4 in it because I use this a lot, is almost $6.57. But the reason it is because it's not a cheap, nasty aftertaste product that is going to kick you out of ketosis. And I don't think it's bad for you. It's an actual indigenous fruit, monk fruit. One more thing before I get off this video, I wanted to show you guys another marketing scheme that some companies do. And I'm not picking on this company in particular because this isn't advertised as a sugar-free, but this is just an example that I had around the house. This is ginger beer. I love using ginger beer to make drinks with. This one, for instance, is considered a light ginger beer. Be sure when you are buying these products, these diet products at the store, that you look at your ingredients and you look at your nutrition labels. Because just because it's light or just because it's skinny or, diet, whatever, does not mean that it's going to be okay on the keto diet. This one, for instance, this light ginger beer, it has less calories and less carbohydrates than the normal one. But if you look on the back, go to carbohydrates, it still has a total of 9.8 carbohydrates. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. It's kind of hard to read. But it still has 8 grams of sugar, real sugar. The actual sugar used in this one is fructose, which is fruit sugar. So just because it says light doesn't mean it's okay. You guys have to start reading your packages and making sure that it is okay on keto. It is not going to spike your blood sugar. And the way you know that is look at the link that I'm going to put below this video about your glycemic index. That will tell you whether or not that something is okay or not on the keto diet. So yeah, I think that's all for this video. Thanks guys for tuning in. And see you on the next video with Keto with Kirkland.